wanted to come and just kind of introduce myself. I've been the executive director of the Chester River Association since January, and have spent most of this year trying to make myself more aware of the issues that face the Chester River and the communities that surround the river. I had asked to be actually on the agenda tonight because I thought that the town might have some interest in learning a little bit about a little more about what we've been doing in the last several weeks, because we were very engaged following the efforts of Dorchester County and the law firm that they hired in creating this coalition to address the problems with the Conowingo Dam. It's been a couple of weeks since a lot of that activity was happening, and as you all know, the Kent County Commissioners voted, and they did vote to join that coalition, although we lobby hard for them not to. Mostly because we felt as if the effort was really going to distract from local cleanup water efforts, and that it was going to create sort of a giant distraction from the TMDL and WIP process, this sort of blueprint for cleaning up the bay. Since then, I feel a little bit more encouraged because I met last week with one of the partners of Funkin Bolton and had a long conversation about the concerns of the conservation community and many of our constituents about their efforts. And I have had some assurance from them that really their efforts are not to dismantle the blueprint, but that they really are just trying to focus hard on the Conowingo Dam because they feel, in a nutshell, they feel that the dam is no longer the sediment trap that it was for years, but that it is actually a source of sediment and sediment-carrying phosphorus loading to the bay. So we had a lot of conversations about the differences between the sediment and the phosphorus in the upper bay and that impact on the upper bay, and how that's very different from the nitrogen and phosphorus loading to the Chester River, especially the upper Chester River, from our local land uses. And I guess I came away from that conversation feeling a little bit more comfortable that we're not in conflict with this effort, but that we actually could be complementary with this effort. And we're going to be meeting again with other members of the environmental community and people from the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, with representatives from Funkin Bolton to see if we can't sort of hammer out a plan that allows them to exercise their influence and resources on the Conowingo Dam, which does need attention, but does not dismantle our local efforts. And I think the reason why there's a particular urgency about addressing it now is that it's up for relicensing. The relicensing is supposed to, that process is happening throughout 2013, and there's a public comment period coming up the first part of 2013. And so that's why there's sort of this special sort of sense of urgency to address it now, because the idea is that if we are going to influence that licensing process so that environmental controls will be part of the license, the time to do that is now. Once the license is issued, it's almost impossible to go back after the fact and say, oh, by the way, we want you to have this series of mitigation in the license. And the licenses are typically good for anywhere from 30 to 40 or 50 years, so it's a long, long time.